Hey everyone, it's Zoe here from Living with a Sleeve. I just wanted to go on live quickly today to have a quick chat about lactose intolerance. So I got asked about this when we were talking with a client last week, and really I guess she was just saying, how common is lactose intolerance? I never used to have it before my sleeve. I never used to, I could eat lots of dairy, it wasn't a problem. And so what I wanted to kind of discuss, I guess it's quite a common question, and it is a common side effect after the sleeve to have some lactose intolerance and sometimes even some other food intolerances too. And I wanted to explain what lactose intolerance is. So lactose intolerance is basically your inability to break down lactose. Lactose is the sugar that's found naturally in milk and dairy products. So usually if you're able to digest lactose normally, you would have lots of an enzyme called lactase in your gut. So when you drink a glass of milk, or you eat some yogurt, or you eat some cheese, then you would quite happily, the lactase in your gut would digest the lactose for you. However, due to changes in the levels of enzymes after the surgery, we have different kind of levels of enzymes and stomach acid as well, and also the speed with which the food goes through your sleeve into the small intestine can sometimes mean that that dairy isn't being digested as well as it used to be. So what happens then is when the undigested lactose hits your gut, you get cramps, bloating, nausea, diarrhea. So maybe let me know if you've had any of these before. And these symptoms too will usually appear around 30 minutes to 2 hours after you eat. The funny thing about lactose intolerance as well is there tends to be a threshold. So for example, one person might be really sensitive and they might not be able to have any regular cow's milk dairy. Maybe a tiny bit of hard cheese, but definitely no ricotta or cottage cheese or milk. Whereas the next person might really happily be able to have, some yogurt and a little bit of milk on their cereal, but then if they go and have that milky coffee in the morning, kind of tips them over the threshold and causes those symptoms. So the foods that have lactose in it are the foods that come from cow's milk, okay? Foods that come from cows. So we've got milk, yogurt, cream, ice cream, cheese, although levels of lactose in varies depending on the type of cheese. So the softer the cheese, usually the more lactose in it. And often people don't struggle with yogurt too much because of the bacteria in yogurt. It tends to kind of soften the effect as well. And the other thing is lactose is used in some prescription drugs and medicine. So if you're really sensitive to lactose, you might start to get those symptoms after you take your medication. Okay. It's interesting, I think, again, that sort of level that we can get away with, and sometimes after the surgery, you just really need to do a little bit of trial and error. Maybe when you're working from home would be better than when you're out in the supermarket, but test and sort of see what combination and what level of dairy you can get away with. If you are getting lactose intolerance, you can try a few things. There's a product called Lactose, which are little tablets basically of that enzyme that our gut used to have lots of, the lactase. And so that if you take that with food when you have dairy products, that can help to break the lactose down so that you don't get those symptoms. And then you could quite happily have milk on your cereal, or if you have to go out and you know that you're going to a cheese fondue, for example, and you want to enjoy it and also not make yourself feel sick, then lactase can be a really good option. The other option is that now in the supermarkets, there are quite a few lactose-free versions of dairy. And so what they've done is they've actually added lactase into the product so that the lactose has been broken down, but it tastes almost exactly the same as the regular version. It's just going to be gentler on your tummy. So for example, Lidl's make a whole bunch of milks, cheeses, cream for cooking as well. Zymel is another option of milk and yogurt too. There's lactose-free spreads like margarine type products, lots of lactose-free yogurts. And now, I mean, the other option is that you go for a non-cow's milk dairy product. And if you're going to do that, I know there are lots of different options on the market now, but I would recommend that you go for a soy-based product because it has the best nutrition content. Some of the coconut milk products are really quite high in saturated fats. The almond milk and the rice milk and the oat milk tend to be lower in protein, same with the coconut milk. And so you're not getting often, especially if it's unfortified, you're not getting the protein and the calcium that we need. Okay, so if you've got any more questions about lactose intolerance or products, or you want to comment about a product that you use, something that you like, please feel free to do so. I'm going to be doing these lives once a week, so let me know if you have a question that you'd like me to answer or cover, and I will, and I will chat to you soon. All right guys, I hope you found it helpful. Bye.